everyone and welcome back to my channel. If you're new to my channel, my name is Sophie and I would love it if you clicked that big red subscribe button down below and turn on that notification bell as well so that you never miss a video. Now this video is going to be of me basically ranking all of the language apps which I have tried into tiers. Unfortunately I haven't tried every single language app that there is out there, and I did not have the time to research into them all and try them all prior to filming this video because I do work a 9 to 5. But these are all the ones that I've tried, including ones which I've deleted, and I will explain why I have uninstalled them from my phone when I'm ranking them. So yeah, you all seem to like my language learning videos, they all seem to do really well, specifically the ones regarding language learning apps, and I saw Anna Lengskova do a video similar to this. Is that her name? I don't know, but I'll link the video down below in the description box because that's where the inspo for this video has come from, so they're like, it's only fair to share that video as well in the description box. But do stick around and watch this one first because I'd like to think that you would enjoy it and find it useful. Okay, so I'm going to start with Duolingo because, I mean, it's the most well-known language learning app out there, so it seems like a good place to start. I actually recently made a video on Duolingo as well, but also I think where I rank Duolingo is going to be quite, let's say, controversial, because I know a lot of people dislike Duolingo, but I'm going to put it in the highest tier, which is the A tier, because I just think with Duolingo you get so much more for free, and I know that if a language app or any language resource is really going to benefit you, then, you know, really you should be paying some sort of money for that. You shouldn't mind paying money for that. However, not everyone can afford you, and if you really want to just try out a language first to see if you're interested in it, Duolingo is a great way to do that because they have so many languages on there for free, and you can see if you actually want to learn that language before spending any money on resources. So I highly recommend Duolingo, and you know, it does get annoying if you don't have the free version, if you don't have the premium version with all the adverts and losing the hearts and stuff, but you just get so much for free. And you know, I do think this is something that is better for beginners and intermediate learners. However, you can always do it at any time, use it at any time, no matter what your level is, just for like little quick refreshers. Though yeah, I don't think when you get to advanced you should really be using Duolingo as the main language learning app you use, but regardless, I would never use one language learning app solely or one language resource solely. I think you should be using loads of different resources because they all have different benefits and advantages, and I think we just need to be using lots of different resources and to learn a language, really. That's my opinion. But yeah, I love Duolingo. I never used to like it that much, but I did make a video recently all about Duolingo, which I will leave linked up here, and I mentioned how suddenly, like, since I started learning Italian for beginners, I just love Duolingo, especially working 9 to 5, just because I can just do 5 minutes a day if I don't have the time for nothing else. But I do try to allow time for other, you know, ways of learning a language, as I don't think you should rely solely on Duolingo, like I've said like 10 times now. I'm repeating myself. Okay, moving on to uTalk, which is another app that I've made a video on. I've made quite a few videos just reviewing apps in themselves, so again I can leave that up there, but to save you the time I'm putting it in the lowest here. Yeah, I made a video on uTalk a while ago because they reached out to me and asked me to make a video, so I tried it, but yeah, I didn't really like it, and I felt like that was obvious in the video that I made, that I didn't really like it. I was giving my honest opinion, but I just really, the thing about uTalk is there's so many different languages on there, but the only reason I feel like I would use it is if I couldn't find a language learning, another language learning app for a language I was learning. Like if I was learning a language that was super rare, because I just felt like the memory games, they really didn't work for me. They were testing my memory of where, you know, like, you know, games where you flip cards over. You have the cards flipped over and you have to remember where they all were. Yeah, it was testing my memory more than actually like of where things were on the screen than the language, and it was just really frustrating, and I just don't think it's the best way. And you have, I think, I'm pretty sure you have to pay per language on there as well, and I just think there's other language learning apps which are much more affordable, that offer a lot more, so I'm really not a big fan of UTalk. Oh yeah, to mention, I didn't get paid for that UTalk video. They literally just was like, you can have an affiliate link, and then I tested the video, I tested the app out and I was filming the video, and I was like, no one's going to sign up with my affiliate link because I clearly do not like this app. The next app which I'm going to talk about is one which I've also made a video on, which is Tandem. Now Tandem, if you don't know what it is an app which basically puts you in contact with people who are native speakers of a language that you're trying to learn, and learning your mother tongue. So you can help each other out, you can send each other voice notes, texts, you can correct texts that people send to you, and you can have video calls. Now I used this app a lot during the lockdown because I was meant to be going and studying abroad, and you know, that all got taken away from me, so I felt like that was going to affect my degree, because I was told, you know, the whole reason we go abroad is so that we're capable to set our final year exams. So me going into panic mode, I tried to speak to as many people on Tandem as I could, and though it's good and I really like it, I'm going to put it in the B tier, because the thing is with Tandem, there's always going to be some people on there who are actually looking for partners or something, who are using it with as a dating app, and I did find that it was always more men that wanted to talk to me, but that could also just be a coincidence of them wanting to like be more confident, I don't know. But like, I did speak to some women on there, but I could never get them on a call with me, but I preferred to have a call. But I also had some calls with some very lovely men who were not trying to date me, and you know, usually I could figure out from the text if they were, and not arranging calls. But the problem is with Tandem as well, is I never really knew how to tell people with, like, if I did have a call with them and I felt like, you know, thanks, this was helpful, but we're not really getting on and I can't see us being language buddies. I never felt like, I didn't know how to tell people that, so I just kind of ghost them, which is not very nice and not very good. And that's probably another thing that's bad with this app, is that people ghost you, and clearly I am one of them. So yeah, I don't really use Tandem anymore, but like, if I really wanted to use it to practice again, I would. Like, I used to use it all the time in lockdown, and then I used it again in the run up to my speaking exams, so it is helpful. Like, if I was doing an official language test and I had speaking exams, I probably would use it still. Yeah. And the next app I want to talk about is very similar to Tandem. I think it's more famous than Tandem, so you've probably heard of it. It's called HelloTalk, but controversially I'm actually going to put it in a lower tier than Tandem, which is the C tier, because for me the whole idea of HelloTalk is basically the same as Tandem, where it puts you in contact with other people, right? However, when I used HelloTalk, I could only use, like, I think I could only use one language on there without paying, and I couldn't have video calls with people or phone calls with people without paying. And I know, you know, apps need to make their money somehow, but I just thought, if I can do all the same on Tandem for free without a premium account, why would I use HelloTalk? That's the only thing, unless HelloTalk is so much better, but because I could use Tandem for free, I never tried the premium because I just didn't see the point, and then I've got to remember to cancel the subscription if I don't like it, kind of thing. So, you know, had Tandem not been free, I would have tried the premium feature of HelloTalk. But yeah, I decided I preferred Tandem because you get the same amount of things for free. But I'm sure there's people out there who love HelloTalk, and maybe there is some special selling point to HelloTalk that makes it worth paying for the premium, but I haven't tried the premium. Okay, so the next language learning app that I'm ranking is, again, one which I've made a video on. No surprise there. So this one is Link, and Link is all about learning languages through immersion, which I love because I think that's so important. That's why I watch so many shows on Netflix in foreign languages. That's why I've tried reading novels in languages that I'm studying. So that idea, just straight up, I love. But I also love how, like, I can mark words as known on there or unknown. Like, as I'm going through reading and listening to the audio, I can highlight words directly instead of having to get my vocab book, and it automatically puts it into their like vocab lists on there, and I can study and review that vocab through Link. I don't have to spend my time uploading them onto another software to learn them, and I can listen to the audios whilst reading, so it's just a really good way to learn. Not grammar so much, but just the immersion and content and vocabulary, and being able to understand the language and then use that to help you speak the language. So I'm going to write Link in A tier because I'm going to add it to the A tier because I feel like it's got a lot to offer, and I really enjoy it. And you can also import your own materials into Link, so if you're reading an ebook in a language, you can import it directly into there and learn it on there, listen to it with read it with the audio, and yeah, add words directly to your vocab list. So it's a very useful app. The next app I'm going to talk about is Memrise, which is one that I have used for years on and off. Like, I started using Memrise when I was studying languages at A-level, so I would have been about 16, and I'm turning 25 next month. So yeah, a long time of using Memrise, and yes, I've used it on and off because I don't necessarily think it is the most useful resource, but there are things that I love about Memrise. So I love that you can input your own vocabulary, and I know that that's not the only app that allows you to do that. There are others as well, like Quizlet and Anki, but I love that, you know, on Memrise not only can you input your own vocabulary, but you can create these little cards to help you memorize words, which I used to do a lot when I was studying languages at A-level. I used to do it more for German. I think it's easier to do it more for German because of how they stick words together. It's quite easy to break down what a word is and help you remember it that way. So for German, I think it's particularly useful. Or any words that any languages that have a lot of like logical words or compound nouns, anything like that. But also I like that they have their own language levels on there already, their own language content, and within that you can actually see clips of locals pronouncing these words and phrases on the streets. So they've actually gone around the streets of different countries with a film crew and just filmed random people, so it's quite like authentic, and you're hearing how it's actually pronounced. So I actually prefer using Memrise to follow along with those courses that are already on there, and those are the courses that Memrise have created, not the courses that other users have created, because you can learn those as well. But yeah, that's what I prefer to do, use the courses that they've created. I do think they're better for like beginners and intermediate, so I don't really use it so much now because German, Spanish and French is quite advanced, but as a beginner in Italian it can be quite useful, because I did start using it over the summer for beginners Italian, and then I took a break from learning Italian and I haven't got back to using Memrise yet, but I do need to, as it is quite useful. I forgot to mention what tier I'm putting it in. I'm putting it in the B tier because it's quite good, but it's not my favourite, and I keep coming back to it, and there must be a reason why I keep going away, but at the same time, because I keep coming back to it, it's obviously good, so B tier it is. And the next app is also one which I haven't used in a while, and that is Drops. Now this is an app purely for vocab, and it's quite fun, like 5 minutes a day of vocab, nice and easy, and something that I used to use a lot but I haven't used in a while, and now that I've started learning Italian from beginners, I really should be using it because I need to build up my vocabulary. I also need to go back over German vocabulary. That was one of my goals for this year because I feel like my German vocabulary is just not out where it used to be. A lot of words have like left my active vocabulary and fallen into my passive vocabulary, and I need to you know, get those words into my active vocabulary so I can actually have conversations in German, not just understand German. I can have conversations in German, but you know what I mean, have conversations without having to pause and be like, oh, I don't know the word for that. Yeah, so Drops is an app that I like because it's very easy. You can memorize the words, the vocab with photos as well. Photos, pictures, they have like pictures, yeah. However, it's not necessarily the best. I feel like it's better for beginners and intermediate, and it's literally just vocab, and there's only a certain amount of vocab I think you can learn on there anyway. Maybe they've added more now, as I know when I was using it before they were adding more courses to it, so maybe they've added more now. I need to try it out again, but I'm just going to put Drops in the B tier because it's good, but it's not the best. This next one is kind of like a bonus app because it's only for German, but it was one which one of my lecturers, actually my dissertation supervisor, like recommended to me whilst I was trying to write my dissertation in German, and that is the Deutsch Perfect Trainer, and I really love this app. I feel like it's really useful. They have loads of different types of like lessons on there, like listening lessons and grammar lessons and vocab lessons, read it, like everything's on there, different topics, and you don't have to learn lessons that you don't want to learn. Like you don't have to follow a certain like path like you do on Duolingo. If there's something that pops up that you don't want to learn, you can just swipe it away and something new will appear on the screen. You always have 5 lessons on the screen. But the only thing I don't like about Deutsch Perfect Trainer is that the lessons, the levels are leicht, easy and mittel, so like medium, average, but I've never seen anything that says hard or difficult like pop up on my screen. Like as someone who studied German for a long time, I feel like you know, it's good to go over the things that I learned ages ago that are like A1 or whatever and easy, to remind myself, because sometimes I forget about, you know, A1 grammar and A2 grammar and B1 grammar and stuff. As I'm an advanced speaker, you forget and you focus on the advanced stuff, but at the same time it's like there should be some challenging lessons for me, and I don't like that there's no challenging lessons on there. Maybe there are some now, but I kind of stopped using it because I haven't really worked on my German in a while. But yeah, Deutsch Perfect Trainer, it's my bonus one. And what have I rated it here? I've put it as a B tier, because if you're learning German, it is a very good app that I would recommend, but probably better for beginners and intermediates unless they add some harder lessons. The next app that I want to talk about is Ling, which is actually one that I ended up uninstalling from my phone. I think I said earlier that I uninstalled quite a few of these apps from my phone, and I was going to mention which ones, but I forgot. But this one, yeah, I ended up uninstalling. It's not one that I hate. It's not, you know, it's not in the D tier like UTalk, which I did uninstall. There are things I like about Ling. For example, there's so many languages on there that you can learn, but it is quite similar to Duolingo, but you have to pay, and I'm like, but I could use Duolingo for free. But at the same time, there's certain languages that I might want to learn on there that I could learn. I can't learn on Duolingo, so then it's worth paying to use Ling. And you know, Ling is good. I just really got annoyed with their speaking exercises, because it would always tell me I was saying something incorrectly, when sometimes I was pretty certain I was saying something correctly because it was a language I've studied for a while, and maybe I wasn't, but like Duolingo would have just let me pass, but Ling didn't. And yeah, I think I would potentially reinstall it if I was learning a language that I couldn't learn on Duolingo, then I wanted something similar, then I'd use Ling. But at the moment, everything that I'm learning, like, I could just learn on Duolingo, so there's no reason for me really to have Ling. So I don't dislike Ling, but I also think there's like I think I remember there being less lessons, but maybe because I just focused on advanced languages, so maybe there's not so much in advanced, I don't know. But to be fair, they had like German for business and Spanish for business, which was cool and really useful, and I really enjoyed that, so I do not hate that. So it's going in the C tier. And then the next app I want to talk about, it's going to be quite controversial where I put it, because it's Lingodeer, and I actually uninstalled Lingodeer, and loads of people love Lingodeer and they say it's better than Duolingo, but they say it's better for Asian languages. And I stopped learning Korean, so what's the reason for me to have Lingodeer? Again, because you have to pay for it as well. Like, well, it's got a free version, but you have to pay afterwards, so unless I start learning Korean or another Asian again, or I learn another Asian language, I'm not going to install it and I'm not going to pay for the premium. But if I was to learn an Asian language, because everyone raves about it so much for Asian languages, I would definitely see if I could test out the premium. Like, I'm assuming they must have like a month free or something like most apps, I don't know. I'll definitely sign up to a month subscription or something, try it out and see if I like it. But yeah, I haven't used Lingodeer that much, so why am I even including in this? I kind of hummed and hawed whether to include this, because I just used the like free version of Korean and I remember liking it, but then I think I got annoyed that I had to pay if I wanted to continue, because at the time I was a student, so I couldn't really afford that, and I was living abroad already. Now obviously I could just pay if I really wanted to, because my situation, financial situation is different, and I'm lucky that it is much better now. But yeah, I'm going to put Lingodeer in C tier. Should I be including this? I don't know. I filmed it now. So I am finishing up this video by putting another favourite app in the polyglot community into a quite controversial tier. This app is Anki, which is one that people love, and I downloaded Anki because I was watching so many videos where people were like, learn Anki, and it sounded great because I was like, I can type in my own vocab and install my own, like, you know, upload my own vocab and learn my own vocab, and it will show me words, again, depending on how I've answered. So if I said, like, you know, I got it correct and it was really easy to remember, then it won't show me the word again for 4 days. And then if in 4 days time it was still really easy to remember, I don't know, 8 days, I can't really remember because I haven't used Anki in a long time. Because the thing is, again, I don't like, one, the aesthetic of it, it just makes me like feel like I'm falling asleep whilst I'm learning Anki, using Anki, which is really bad. And 2, I hate the time it takes to upload all of the vocab, because I don't know if you can actually just like upload vocab from a document, I don't know, but I would always write words into my vocab book and then upload them to Anki, and by the time that I've uploaded them all, or a certain amount that I've just had enough because it's been like an hour, I wouldn't want to actually go through Anki and learn. And also I think my problem was that my data list would just, like, my vocab list would just get so big, because I'd have one like Spanish uni vocab and it would just get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, to the point where I'd feel like I've been on Anki for like over an hour trying to revise vocab rather than 5 minutes, and I wouldn't know where to stop. And I just wish it would just like let me learn 5 minutes of vocab and then go, stop, okay, again tomorrow. I mean, I could just tell myself, but I would rather it just be like, oh, stop, you can continue if you want, or tomorrow, I don't know. Like, I'm putting it in the C tier. It's good, but for some reason I just don't get along with it. But I can see why other people love it, and I hate that I don't love it. So maybe I need to make more of an effort to love it. Yeah. But yeah, that was the last app that I was ranking in this video. So I hope you enjoyed it. Give it a big thumbs up if you did, and subscribe and turn on the notification bell as well, because I do make a lot of language content. If you have any recommendations of what type of language content you want to see, or any just content in general, feel free to leave it down below in the comment section. yeah, let me know what your opinion is on any of these apps. I would love to hear your opinion, and I'm sure some people looking in the comments might want to hear what you think as well, because we probably all have very different opinions on these apps, and you might be quite upset of where I ranked some apps. And that's okay, you're allowed to be upset about that. But I'm gonna go now because I have plans. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!